Next is from Neil Hayes. Subject is Eric Bischoff, Wrestling Genius or Curse. Hi guys, just want to thank you, Konnan and Disco. I want to thank you, Konnan and Disco, for the years of entertainment. Me being a teenager at the time, it was great to watch Nitro on a Friday night. I live in the UK on TNT. Love the talent on Nitro and the sound of that WCW ring when someone took a bump. We were lucky as the Monday Night Wars were never head-to-head in the UK, and after Nitro finished, it was great to switch over to watch Raw and Sky Sports and compare them both. I apologize if you have been asked this before, but does Eric Bischoff get too much credit for being a genius? I know he has a scapegoat in Vince Russo for WCW and TNA, but Vince had some good TV moments, especially some bad ones. Eric holds himself in high esteem, but WCW failed under his watch. TNA declined severely, and he had a terrible stint in WWE on a few occasions. I'm guessing he's the one who brought Hulk into TNA, which just added whopping costs and made him a major part of the booking team. Plus, he wrote himself into too many segments. Is Eric just bad at this stuff, or did he make the mistake of letting his friends play around too much in all the companies? I know Greg Gagnon is known as a liar, but I'm guessing some of what he said about Eric is true. He just steals from others and blames others when it goes wrong. Could I have your thoughts, please, on Eric's documented path of destruction, why he seemed to try and rebuild WCW under the TNA banner? Thanks again for the many years of entertainment. My eldest has gotten into wrestling and has been showing him all the old Nitros. Best of luck in the future, and thank you for producing and co-hosting the show. So, Niall, I want to ask you a question. Did Eric ever do anything good? You sound like you seem like everything he did was terrible. There's a thing called 83 weeks. Okay? WCW crushed the WWE for 83 weeks on TV. Like nobody's how many other wrestling promoters can say for an entire year's worth of television we outdid Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
0.
Right.
Bro, come on. Eric is the second best promoter in my lifetime. Vince McMahon is the number 1. Eric was number 2, and probably Eric would have been even more successful if Vince McMahon was not around. The WWE was not around, because we did some good TV at WCW. You know, I just think that this whole thing, bro, people will always they focus on people's careers, okay, and literally everything that they talk about their careers is all just the negative things in their career. These people had a lot of moments of brilliance in their careers. Nobody likes to talk about that. It's a lot of these modern wrestling fans that do that, because like people that grew up and stuff, everything, like, they're not as down on them as the modern wrestling fan is, because all these people do is just talk about the past and how, this sucked and this, bro, there was tons of good stuff back then, way better than the stuff these days, holistically, so I don't know. I just, when I read emails like this, I just wonder if a guy like this reads too much dirt sheet stuff and, just his negativity. I mean, do you agree, Konnan? Am I a little off base here?
Yeah, no, I mean, Eric had good things, bad things, good things. I mean, he hired all those people from WWE. He went head to head against,
here's
WWE.
something.
He brought in all the cruiserweights, which revolutionized the sport. Yep.
Here's a funny thing. I think Tony Konnan made this. Tony Konnan made this statement or something. Him or Meltzer or somebody was talking about how that, I'm not gonna make the same mistakes that basically, Eric went and signed a bunch of the WWE cast-offs for too much money. And it's like, yeah, and he took those signings and they obviously had a lot of worth left in them because he took all those guys and turned around and beat Vince for over a year. People look at that like it's funny, but they look at it as a negative. Well, he signed all these guys when they were on the lap. Yeah, and he beat Vince with those same guys. He took all of Vince's guys and beat Vince with those guys. I mean, I don't know. It's like people try to spin it as a negative. I'm like,
well, here's the thing.
I was like, go ahead.
And this is, again, no shade. He's done the same thing. He's taken a lot of guys from WWE. Unlike Eric, he hasn't been able to use them and weaponize them to beat Vince yet.
Right.
The only show was when NXT was against them head to head at the beginning. Remember?
Right.
But they weren't bringing in no star power. They're bringing more star power now than they were before.
Right. Bro, they did like 700-something thousand a couple weeks ago. Dominic, somebody did it. I was reading a thing. When Dominic's on the show, the numbers are up like 100 to 150,000.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Well, they had their highest rating. They had their highest rating on NXT in 2 years when he was there. Yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Good for him.
That kid, yeah, good for him. And then it's funny how we like for like the longest time. We would always just say, "Boy, he looks so uncomfortable out there." They give him cheesy lines instead of just. And then all of a sudden, you know what? You should take somebody like that and turn them heel, and you can unleash character. And like, what do? They turn him heel, and he's just like he's the best heel. Bro, literally every character that you're stuck with right now that isn't going anywhere, bro, just flip the switch on the guy. Turn him heel, or if he's a heel, it's not going to turn him babyface, and see if it. Right? Yeah, you should do that with everybody. That's not
Because a lot of times when you're a babyface and you're not getting over, people start to boo, and you're like, man, when I turn heel, I'm gonna go off, you know. And so, like Jack Perry, look, he's been a good heel so far. You know what I'm saying? I still think he's missing the boat by not going up with that Anna Jay girl.
Right.
That's heat.
Yeah.